Hello folks, I know that it's been a minute, but please let us discuss the very case that brought me to all of you, and that's the Chris Watts case. I have watched so many documentaries, I have watched so many informational videos, I have heard from Dr. Phil, I have heard from Law and Crime, I have heard from A&E, and what's really disturbing is that nobody seems to be reading the actual detailed information regarding this case.
One thing led to another, and 8 years later, we have 2 kids, we live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me. He knew me at my worst, and he accepted me, and your vows, like through sickness and everything, he's been there.
It's bothersome to me that people will just put information out there without reading the 2,000 plus pages that were given to the public with detailed information about how Cece was killed, and yet no fibers were found in her tongue, her throat, her mouth, but they're going to show you Chris put a blanket over her face. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And don't be fooled, because if he did, those fibers would be found in Cece's tongue, on her throat, in her lungs, but no fibers were found. Therefore, it is incapable of being facts that he put a blanket over her head before he did what he did, which tells all the people who are reading the facts and know the facts that either someone else is involved because he wasn't the one that killed Cece, or somebody's lying along the trail of law enforcement, which I would like to think it's not the latter.
Kids about me, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
So what happened when you got out there?
Cece was blanket over her head. Did she show it all? We went down to Bella. Tell me what happened there. She said, what happened to Cece? Like every time I close my eyes, I started to see her saying, Daddy, no, and that was it. You hear that every day.
The coolest thing about this is right now, there's only one person in this room that knows what the truth is. And in about 5 minutes, there's going to be 2 of us.
Like, the other people who don't want the truth to be known are the ones that are trying to make a fool out of this situation. The hard truth is Cece didn't have any fibers in her lung, chest, tongue, mouth area that would corroborate his statement of putting a blanket over her face before he says he killed her. Can we please bring the truth back to reality here? Because that isn't it. That is a lie. And yet it is all over every single channel I have seen. I hate that this case, which I have dived fully into with you guys, is being flipped into a lie. Like Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico deserve way more than that. Let's talk about it. All of the people, like the reporters, the podcasters, all of the investigators that were outside of law enforcement, outside of judicial systems, none of them seem to have read the actual reports of what was documented for fact, as in this case. Everybody has an opinion about it, but nobody seems to have actually read the detailed facts about what happened, about what was found, about what wasn't found, and that in itself decides the truth behind all the words. One reporter says, everybody following this story should be forming your own opinion. But let's be real here. Anybody who's actually following the story should be going through like the proper legal distribution of facts and not just going on media and not going on someone else's opinion. Everybody following this story should be looking at the full backstory of the history of the police reports. But like, let's be real, if the police reports aren't honest, well then I guess there may be some lies that are being distributed to everybody. But that's not fair to the victim.
That's just a test.
I know. It just says the paint is gonna be girls.
I know.
Guess when you want to, it happens.
Understand that point?
Chris Watts will only ever be able to get away with lies to the authorities because clearly to the general public, he will only be able to get away with farce. Bullshit, honestly. Pardon my French, but let's be real. This guy was not gonna lie to all of us about what he did. And he admitted to so many details about what he did. If you were the killer of somebody who put a blanket over somebody's face and that's what happened. But to say you did something, but yet the coroner and the autopsy report don't verify that anything was put over their face while they were breathing. Because if that was the case, there would be proof of those fibers that they were breathing. That tells me either Chris Watts is lying or the coroner is lying, which seems highly unlikely. So let's just bring it back to the clearly somebody is lying, and I don't think it's the coroner. Tell me what you think.